Hey everyone, it's Gordon Einstein again, your enthusiastic and grateful interviewer for the AIBC Sigma conference. I want to welcome my colleague and friend, Mohammed Mahfoudh. I've actually had the opportunity of speaking to you a few times now, but
Absolutely.
You're a very interesting person, you're very tied in locally, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
I'll give you the COVID handshake.
All right.
You know,
yeah, the special times.
Yeah. So please, tell us about yourself and your
Sure.
origin story.
All right, thank you again for the opportunity. It's a real pleasure to meet with you in such a beautiful place and a beautiful day. My name is Mohammed Mahfoudh. I'm the founder and CEO of Deca4 Advisory, which is a company that I set up about 2 years ago to focus on providing consultancy and advisory for the tokenization, basically. So I saw an opportunity in the market where everybody's building a technology, and I come from the traditional investment and the traditional world. Is like, how do I bridge the traditional businesses to the crypto, and the best way is to provide proper traditional consultancy and mix it with the normal and the new, and see how the new tokenization fit into any business model, for example. So we do lots of business plans, feasibility studies, market research. Not all of them lead to a tokenization because we realize some of the projects are not ready yet, or the regulation is not ready yet.
Actually, I'd even say it's a sign that you're doing a good job that some of them don't lead to tokenization or to blockchain, because not everything is blockchain appropriate.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you discern between the two is probably positive.
People come to us, funnily enough, and say, I want to do a token. And like, why do you want to do a token? So we take them through the journey. And many times we realize it just doesn't make sense, or it does not achieve what they have in mind. So, in many cases, because we work with security tokens, we do some utility tokens, now NFTs. Now in security tokens, people assume that just by creating a token, I get the money. So it's like, okay, hold on. So once they understand, then they have a better way to decide. And we, of course, look into their business, the financial, the legal, different jurisdictions. So we're a technology agnostic. We're also jurisdiction agnostic. We work everywhere. My team is decentralized, like the technology we're in. So I have in Ukraine, in Romania, Colombia, Brazil, even in UAE. I have in Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah. So my team, they can be anywhere. Which is how things are.
If I may, I'm always curious about how people get into this in the first place. Can you go back a little bit more?
Absolutely. Now for me, I spent a good part of my professional life in startups. Either, I did work for government, for big organization, but it didn't fit me. So I set up my company, and then in 2000, I set up a cloud-based real estate software in Dubai. So in 2004, we had lots of it happened. We were there at the right time. The real estate boom happened in Dubai, and everybody was looking for a solution. Now cloud-based terminology came later on, but it is a single instance multi-tenant architecture. Still running till now. So I got into that, and then about 10 years later, I moved into investing in startups. So I worked for at least 15 years in angel investment, startups, focusing on that area. And I did lots of the work in Europe, but I work in Latin America, in Chile, in Australia, and different countries. And during that period, we invested early on in some exchanges that did not succeed, but anyway, in crypto exchanges that get us the feeling, or at least the curiosity, to be honest. I wasn't paying too much attention to it early on. 2014, 2015, but around 2016, we said, okay, something is happening, and we actually got more involved in one exchange in Europe.
Let me ask you, was there a moment everyone has a different, either they get hit by a lightning bolt, and they're like, oh my God, crypto was going to change my life forever. Or in my case, to be honest, it was a slow series of knocks on the head that finally knocked some sense into me. Did you have a flash moment, or was it an evolution?
Well, I had a forced flash moment.
Forced flash moment, okay. Sounds...
There was an event that happened in 2017. It's not important to talk about it, because when I was investing in Europe, I had different people with me, and some event happened that forced me outside of the companies. I still have equity, but I was forced to be outside the management. And I started to be in a difficult cash position. I have good equity, but I needed the cash,
Sure.
and I couldn't liquidate. And that was beginning of 2017, and during the ICO. So I temporarily moved to advise some ICOs because I saw the link and the understanding that I have the background and the understanding of businesses and how things evolve. And then it triggered to me is like, if my equity was liquid like these ICOs, and that really were triggered. Now I was lucky to be in Dubai with lots of people who were in Dubai, and good discussion about the concept of security token came in. And then I said, this is really something gonna change a lot of things, solve my issue like many angel investors.
Let me pause you for a second. This is really interesting. So we always hear about that one of the benefits of ICOs is the early liquidity path for investors, angels, startup team. But you actually, it's not hypothetical. You lived it personally. You saw the constraint of being someone locked in with equity who did not have a liquid position.
Yeah.
And you
Very
personally
tough.
were struggling with this, and then you saw firsthand
Yeah.
the solution that tokenization and blockchain offers.
Yes.
Interesting.
And so I work with technology companies for, as I said, around 15 years. So I also understand that this doesn't happen immediately. So it wasn't like, I thought tokenization will create liquidity. It was very clear this is a journey.
Sure.
That's going to happen, lots of things. But it was also clear that's going to happen. Whether 2, 3 years, 5 years, it was obvious. Said, okay, I want to be in that tokenization domain, and whatever it takes, it takes. We work with technology companies, we're patient. It's not like, I'm not a trader, so, although I did trade in crypto, I never trade in the stock market. Just like for me, it doesn't make sense. I rather invest in companies, grow them, and see the real technology, the real people.
Sure.
So that was much more exciting. The crypto was a little bit more interesting than stock market, but I'm not a trader. I get into the companies, I build up. So I understand that things take time. And tokenization, it was not like, I need it now, but it was really bad period for me that I saw, wow, if this is the situation, it will open up so many opportunities. Also, when we used to raise money from angel investor, it was a nightmare. And we did lots of research in the region here in the Middle East, in UAE, and Saudi Arabia now is picking up much better than before. One of the issues angel investors are reluctant is the lack of exit.
Sure.
When you in Silicon Valley have better ecosystem, so the angel investor get an exit through a VC. It's not as common here. So people are reluctant to get in early because the exit is difficult. So it's like, all of this is here, this is happening, is being shaped through the tokenization, the blockchain. So I'm focusing on the tokenization from the whole ecosystem of the blockchain because it makes sense. Even ICOs make sense when they are applied in the proper structure. If it, we're doing 2 ICOs, very interesting projects right now, utility tokens, a concept that makes sense because the product is there. There is an immediate utility you could benefit from. So yeah, that's the entry point. It's a force because it was a political situation that forced me out. And then I found myself stuck. Either I go back to employment and, you reach an age, it's like, that's not really a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an option, but I was like, that's very tough. So that's really what the driver for me.
Interesting. And then to an outsider, just for example, this is my 3rd time here and each visit has been brief and it's been recent. If you were describing the social, business, and crypto environment of Dubai and the Emirates to someone like me, what would you say?
On the crypto specifically, or generally?
The social, just if someone just got off the plane and wanted the quick scoop, if this is even possible, just what's it like here, socially, business-wise, and then crypto? Yeah,
so socially, one thing that, somebody like me, I literally work on every continent. I work in so many countries. I've seen so many cultures from the US to Latin America, Australia, Europe. One thing here is that diversity without requiring you to be blending in. So the melting pot concept in the US is like, to me is not the right thing because what if I don't want to melt, I want to have my identity while respecting the ecosystem. So Dubai provides that you can be whoever you are. Everybody is respected and, culturally and even by law. So that's something that many people maybe don't really understand it, but this is something that once you move around,
It's sort of a mosaic, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, mosaic is a good thing. So you don't need to be the same thing. You know, each one has their own unique identity. So that's something beautiful about Dubai. Dubai is, for me, for example, I work on multiple nationalities. I could find everybody here. People are comfortable living, and if you have a family, it's very safe, very family friendly. Lots of things for the kids and for the family. So that safety is very important. Sometimes we overlook it because it becomes normal, but it is very, very crucial. Peace of mind. Regulations do change, and I hear people complain, but that's a very positive thing because the government listened to the private sector, said, "Oh, this is not working. Let's modify it." So it's always in the interest of the people living here. It's like, how can we make it better? And again, sometimes we're over criticizing things, but we're people, we're doing our best. So the regulators everywhere, they're doing their best. So from the social life, the dynamics of different people, different cultures, different backgrounds is very good. And the full respect.
So let me share a thought though. Now I admit I'm a novice here. So I think my impression may be that of a novice. I do see the mosaic that we're talking about. There's like a thin layer of everyone talks to everyone, and then there's groups that are separate. My limited exposure to different groups, at least indicates to me that they're friendly enough. They don't seem too tight or enclosed. I think like it's possible to do business between the groups, and they don't seem to be in completely distinct silos. Am I being innocent about it because that's just a superficial impression, or is it something where you can make friendships across groups and get stuff done?
You could make friendship across group. It's a personal decision. I know what you're. Many people want to isolate themselves because they build up a certain. If I'm wearing a local traditional dress, do I go in that place, or do I meet these people? So it's a personal decision, but the moment you cross it, then Dubai is a place because you could work with anybody, with wherever they are from, and you find it much easier. People forget their backgrounds and focus on who they are and doing the whatever they are here for. And we usually here, yes, for business. People are focused on doing business, creating something, building something, which is great. So removing many of these non-essential elements and focusing on the true value. So it is possible to blend in. Many people, they don't because of choice, because we like to be in certain groups. But if they want to cross, it's very easily possible, whether it's professionally. So I cross different professions, for example, I work real estate, healthcare. And it's difficult, when I work in the insurance industry for a while, it's very difficult to get into that. Then blockchain. So that complexity is there, and then the different nationalities, backgrounds, languages. But if there is a place right now in the world, I think Dubai is demonstrating that. So that's one thing very important for some. And I think most of us in the crypto, we work globally in different places. So it makes it so easy.
Anyway, yeah.
We're used to it, and now it becomes like a place of meeting. So another thing about Dubai is a good place to meet. I used to travel a lot, and then at one point of time, I realized people are willing to come. So, okay, why do I really need to go and go to Europe or whatever? They will come here. So Dubai is also very attractive for businesses. The other thing, when I work in Europe, it's easy to come here for more nationalities than Europe. And that's very important for business. So I can invite people from Africa, from Asia, from
different. That's a beautiful point.
Yeah, so that's very crucial from a business perspective, because we used to struggle. If I'm going to have a global customer base, I need to be able to bring them in a place where they're all of them are welcome and easy access. So that's one of the business-related aspects that many people ignore, because it's natural for you to travel anywhere, but it's not for everybody. So Dubai is a hub.
Let me just kind of acknowledge that. That's the first time I've heard that idea, and you're right. It is, and you know what? To be honest, it's easier for me to come here than it is to Switzerland. I mean, I obviously have a U.S. passport, and I can't, if I go to Switzerland, I have to quarantine, and they give you funny looks at the border.
Yeah, now things.
There's the COVID situation. But then you're also talking about the just general regime overall.
The government is welcoming, the country is welcoming. So people forget you have a whole population around you, so they don't find it easy access. So Dubai is another benefit. You asked about Dubai, UAE as a whole. So it's a very good place, very safe. Many people find it a good meeting point. Events like this, events that we are here in today. So it's very strong value for targeting a huge population. And there's another thing, you reach 2/3 of the world's population with an 8-hour flying from Dubai. So it's a serious opportunity, and many companies, they establish here and they reach out.
Got it. Now we're gonna have to wrap up, unfortunately, because to be honest, I lost track of the time because it's interesting and you got me going with it. Can we wrap up with talking about AIBC and Sigma and why people should come and why it's wonderful?
It's wonderful to meet the wonderful people that are participating and organizing the event, and of course having the specific subjects that the event will be covering is definitely a good opportunity. I mean, as you know, number one, as we talked about Dubai, so it's definitely a good thing to come in and for the event to meet the like-minded people, to have such a very wonderful list of whether speakers or people attending. It's always an amazing opportunity.
Well put. That was a perfect conclusion, and I appreciate the time. And
thank you,
Mohammed. I'll give you the COVID fist bump.
All right,
So
that's
thank
a
you so
closer
much.
one.
Appreciate
Thank you.